looks like this really credible insider said we're getting a new 2D Mario and a remake of a Super Nintendo classic. I could think of a Super Nintendo classic from the top of my head. My good old pal Kablooey. Kablooey, how are you, man?
Hi there, Petey. Good to see ya. I'm happy I'm coming back on the Nintendo Switch and glorious HD. HD reminds me of a McDonald's cheeseburger. You know, I gave one to a homeless guy before, and once I donated it, he just threw it to the ground and smashed the mustard and ketchup out of it. That was in my game. Now imagine that in glorious HD with particle effects.
Oh man, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine playing that with my Grimace Shake.
Ah, the Grimace Shake. That sounds wonderful. Hey, Petey, tell me all the bad words that you know.
Poop?
Good, good. You ever heard the word
You are now watching The Beach.
No, Mr. Krabs, it's that time of the month. It's Nintendo Direct season. All bad Squidward impressions aside, there has been so much talk about a Nintendo Direct. I think many of us are just starved for a Nintendo Direct, and while the last one was good, it really didn't reveal many new games. Quite frankly, I don't think it really revealed any new first-party games. Pikmin 4 was in that Farm Direct, and a lot of it was just remakes, which were great remakes, but nothing particularly new.
Yeah, it's been a dry spell for us. I mean, we did just get Tears of the Kingdom, which was great, but I feel like, besides Pikmin 4, we don't really know what the holiday game is, but...
Well, we know the game of all time is going to be Everybody 1-2 Switch, which releases in 10 days.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Man, I really hope they don't show a trailer for it.
Yeah,
the more mystery, the better.
Dude, it had almost over a year to cook in the oven. In the oven! They're clearly confident about this game. They're just hiding the best parts.
Oh, yeah. Clearly he knows what he's talking about.
Watch out, Einstein!
No, but speaking of holiday games, I think you and I might have a hunch as to what that may be.
Now here's the thing. The thing that inspired us to make this discussion were two things. One of them being, this is a franchise that we care about, and it hasn't seen a new entry in almost 11 years. Wow, that is insane.
Jesus.
Unless you count some sub-series and a mobile game, but I don't really count that. And another thing is, there might be a credible rumor, just in case it turns out to be true, we're doing this. Personally, I'm on the fence about it. I don't think it's true. There's apparently a Twitter account called Pioro_ND that said, I have some news for a wonderful announcement in a direct. A new 2D Mario that won't have the new Super Mario Bros. Name in the title. And a remake of a beloved SNES classic, which I'll just go out on a whim and say it's probably going to be Super Mario RPG or Earthbound.
That would be great. Actually, you know what? Earthbound would actually be great, just because I think it deserves the love. But I understand Mario RPG deserves the love too, but I just feel like Earthbound's just been underserved for so long, but...
Oh, if they were...
Yeah,
if they wanted a hype announcement, the remake of Earthbound would easily be that. Or just even releasing Mother 3. I don't know why they haven't done that, but I think it's more likely Super Mario RPG, considering they haven't put it on SNES Online. But, you know why I don't think this is credible? Despite them apparently getting other things right? Well, considering the track record and considering the amount of time from the rumor that they put on the Twitter to the actual reveal, it's quite short. Like, 2 days, he'll post a rumor, then 2 days later, there will be the actual announcement. What can happen is someone can create a Twitter account, post a bunch of things, and say, so-and-so is coming. John Cartwright actually did that. He made an account called Waddle Dee Knows, pretending to be an insider, and whenever something came true, he deleted the tweets and made his account public again. And this could be the case. I don't know. I'm thinking that there might be some credibility here, but if not, why not do a 2D Mario discussion anyway, since this is something we've wanted to talk about, and it's not just something baseless like, he was right! Let's talk about some Nintendo Direct predictions. We're gonna get Kablooey HD. We're gonna get... oh, I don't know, just Metroid Prime Remastered. Oh, we already got that. See? We're credible insiders now, too!
He was right!
He was absolutely right! But before this gets on a tangent about Nintendo Directs and rumors and such, let's talk about this new 2D Mario game, the future of 2D Mario, and what we'd like to see from a new 2D game. So, as I stated before, it has been over a decade since the last 2D Mario game. You have Super Mario Maker, you have Super Mario Maker 2, and you have Super Mario Run. But I'm talking about a made-from-the-ground-up, original 2D Mario game. But in this case, I think original can be kind of quote-unquote, because it was New Super Mario Bros. U. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, and it got a fantastic port for the Switch.
Dude, that didn't happen. We're done. We're not going to talk about that. No, it did get a port on the Switch, and I like to forget that ever happened.
It has been years since we've gotten a new 2D Mario, and I think you and I can agree that 2D Mario has kind of stagnated in the past few years, especially with the new Super Mario Bros. Series. So, I mean, the first new Super Mario Bros. Was a breath of fresh air because it actually brought some new ideas to the table while actually serving as a soft reboot to the series. Then we got Wii, which is revered by most fans. And then we got New Super Mario Bros. 2 and U, which both felt kind of bland and underbaked.
Very samey, very unoriginal. I will say New Super Mario Bros. 2 was more derivative and just had the coin gimmick that led to absolutely nothing. Hence why the term gimmick often has a negative connotation, like it's just a useless feature even though gimmicks are often quite cool. And then New Super Mario Bros. U, while it was a little more original, it just felt like Wii all over again. Like it was pretty much the same pacing, same level ideas, it wasn't the same levels. And the presentation was virtually the same. And considering that was Nintendo's first HD Mario game, and it barely looked better than New Super Mario Bros. Wii, that was pretty insane. And, you know,
Yeah.
It's important to bring up those games because last year I did a retrospective of New Super Mario Bros. 2 and New Super Mario Bros. U, which are some of the most popular on the channel. And I remember when I was doing the New Super Mario Bros. U retrospective, I was talking to you while playing the game, and you replayed it, and you were telling me that you were playing the game, and you want to know how I feel, and I was like, how? Want to guess? Oh, you think the game is just, it's better than you thought? No, it's boring. And, you know, it really just sunk in when you said that, because I was feeling the same way too. Although I do think fun can be had with it, just compared to a lot of other 2D platformers out there nowadays. 2D Mario, specifically New Super Mario Bros., it doesn't feel compatible with the modern era of gaming as a modern series. Obviously, you can play retro games, and those are still incredibly fun, but for a new experience, and considering it's ported to the Switch and Nintendo treats it like a new entry, sadly I had to acknowledge it there, I will still kind of count it.
It's odd, though, because I don't... you have Super Mario 3D World, which I know it's technically a 3D game, but in my opinion, it plays like 2D games, so it's kind of part of that series. But
Josh, you would agree with you there.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. It just proves to me that the 2D Mario formula could still work. I mean, yes, 3D World is very easy. I'm not arguing against that, but look how many ideas 3D World put into there, and like. They made a lot of great... I don't know, they had a lot of great power-ups, lots of great level design. I don't think the problem is 2D Mario. I think the problem was New Super Mario Brothers.
Like, when we played New Super Mario Bros. U, what did you find so boring about it?
Oh, I could tell you a million things wrong with it, but I will start with some of the positives. I really did like the world map. It really reminded me of Super Mario World, and I liked how interconnected everything was. I liked that the world map theme was the same theme, but it changed within different worlds. I thought that was really neat. Do I think world maps need to be so restrictive nowadays after 3D World? Not necessarily, but that's something we'll talk about what we're expecting from this game in a little bit. But um, some of the things that I found boring were the music. So the new Super Mario Bros. Series had a habit of recycling the same music tracks from Wii, which was, to me, I don't know how you feel, but I think New Super Mario Bros. Wii is the most boring Mario soundtrack of all time. It is ear grating. I hate the overworld theme to that game. It sounds so boring, so lifeless, so corporate. I just want nothing to do with it.
I feel
And then
like
we
that had
have,
a lot to do with New Super Mario Bros. 2 and you reusing it. 2 made it even worse.
oh god, don't even
Actually, you
remind me.
did have a different overworld, but it wasn't much of an improvement. I feel like the music in Wii was pretty good for the most part. Nothing spectacular, though.
Yeah, and let's talk about the graphics actually. It's not as big of a jump as I would have liked from the Wii to the Wii U. I mean, some of the backgrounds are nice, especially the painting levels and the forest stage. That was really, really nice.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
uh, but beyond that, the models are just, I don't know. They don't look HD at all. It looks recycled from New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Some of the characters run at like lower frame rates. Sometimes. Uh, you know, we still have the live system, which in my opinion is already outdated at this point.
I will
Um,
correct you on one thing. I think with the frame rates, you're thinking of Super Mario Maker 1 and 2.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgive me, I haven't played the originals in a while. But with that being said, the graphics, the music, um, even the level design in you, I thought it was. I mean, obviously, it was a step up from I think New Super Mario Brothers 2. Um, but I felt like I don't know. I felt like it was too easy to find the secrets
It was just
in
so
levels.
automated. It didn't feel organic. It just felt like they had
Yeah,
a robot designed to make Mario levels
it
and
felt.
just programmed
Yeah,
that to make levels for Nintendo instead of having organic handcrafted levels. So, for this
yeah.
discussion, for the gameplay footage, I'm either gonna go with New Super Luigi U or Rayman Origins gameplay because I just
Oh,
don't want to go back to New Super Mario Bros. U. It's just not
oh
a fun
yeah.
experience anymore. It was
I
alright
will
at the
say,
time, but wow.
I will say that New Super Mario Brothers the series did add a lot of cool new improvements. I do like that they brought over some of the 3D moves into 2D, like the wall jump, ground pound, the triple jump. I think those are all natural and they fit in the 2D games. I also really like New Super Mario Brothers U's Last World, where it's Peach's castle, but Bowser took over it. I thought that was really, really cool. And I actually did quite enjoy the spectacle of the final boss. There's good ideas in New Super Mario Bros. U, don't get me wrong, but it still has that New Super Mario Bros. Stink. And to be honest with you, if this rumor is correct, I am so relieved that we're done with the New Super Mario Bros. Series.
Yeah, I think the problem with New Super Mario Bros., and I say this quite a lot, wasn't New Super Mario Bros. Itself. It was just the oversaturation of the series, the influence it had on the spin offs. But that era is seemingly gone. That was mostly
Yeah,
during the Nintendo 3DS Wii U era. And like I said, New Super Mario Bros. U was a port on the Switch. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, even though it removed content. I didn't know when that started to make games deluxe, but I could rant about that game all day. But the
mm,
point is, with 2D Mario, and there's been a lot of talk about 2D games being lesser than 3D games, I don't think the problem is 2D Mario. The problem is New Super Mario Bros. U, or just the New Super Mario Bros. Formula just being incompatible with modern 2D platformers and what we see from those. Because 2D platformers have proven time and time again, ever since as early as 2010, with Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 as a perfect example of what not to do. You thought I was going to praise that game? Just put up a retrospective trashing that game, which it deserved, by the way. No, it started off in the early 2010s, as early as 2010. Kirby's Epic Yarn, organic level design, an excellent art style, Donkey Kong Country Returns. Incredible game with amazing organic level design, an excellent presentation. There are even platformers probably before then, but that's when I really started to feel platformers took a different approach, where 2D really started to feel more like 2.5D instead of just the graphics alone. Heck, I'd even say
Yeah.
that new Sonic game, Sonic
Oh,
Superstars, that is looking phenomenal.
oh yeah. Superstars looks like it's taking what worked with the 2D Sonic games, and it looks like it's evolving the formula. Using the back. I did notice that you go into the background in some levels, and I do notice that there's no lives in the game, and there's collectibles in the game. I don't know what it does, but there are movements in there to make the game feel like a classic Sonic game, but at the same time modernize it for contemporary gaming nowadays, where maybe extra lives don't really do it for people anymore because it's kind of an archaic feature. I know people still like lives in their games, but
Oh, especially
this
time
is
limits.
yeah, that's something I'll talk about in
I will say
what we'd
this
like to
though.
see.
When it comes to modern 2D platformers, even the ones that go for retro takes, they still feel more modern in concept. Games like
Yeah,
Shovel Knight, they pay homage to the classic era of gaming, but they still feel modernized, even having or they go for the retro art direction, but that doesn't stop them from being incredible fun games, even to this day, in the modern
yeah,
era of like these massive open world big games. Then, of course, Sonic Mania is another example. I've been playing that. That's a damn good time. Although I think Sonic Superstars is more of an evolution of 2D Sonic, I think that Sonic Mania still manages to be so much fun, even in the modern era of gaming. So really, just the problem is the way New Super Mario Bros. Is set up, and how really that was the evolution of New Super Mario Bros. At the time, or Super Mario Bros. At the time, and it's just kind of stayed that way. The only reason I say that is because, like I said, we haven't gotten a new 2D Mario since then. Although in the Maker games, I feel it's different because there's so many possibilities of creating levels. So I'm not talking about Super Mario Maker 1 and 2. Those games are incredible, and there are so many possibilities when you're creating levels. And, even this isn't a discussion about Super Mario Maker, but I will say with Super Mario Maker 2, that introduces so many new concepts and adds so many things to 2D Mario, even if it's
yeah.
just a level creator. I don't know how you feel about it.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Mario Maker just because I feel like it's limited in what it allows you to do. In the sense that, well, what if I want to compose my own original music for the stage? Oh, you got to make a whole level, surrounding around that. Oh, that's kind of lame. I feel like, Maker 2 improved upon this where they had more art styles, but it's just not a game for me. And to me, I think for the longest, I was kind of annoyed that in my head, I felt like it was replacing 2D Mario, and I didn't like discussion around it being like, oh, well, 2D Mario kind of sucks nowadays, so Nintendo gave it to the fans so that they can make a better game. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way because at the end of the day, these were fan generated levels. It wasn't like a full experience that I wanted. You know, I've always dreamed of a 2D Mario game that had like a really cool art style like Rayman Legends or DKC Tropical Freeze, where, you know, it takes advantage of new ideas, but it's still grounded in its approach to the gameplay that it had for a long time. But yeah,
Yeah, that's just the problem with the Super Mario Maker versus 2D Mario debate of Super Mario Maker replacing it. It's not the same experience. I do think it was close enough for me to sort of replace it and be a good replacement, I think. I don't think it should have, but let's just say that was a case scenario. I wouldn't
yeah.
mind that too much because I love Super Mario Maker 2. It really just depends how much you're into
I
creating levels, sharing them, and playing others, and I'm definitely
I
really into that.
I did want to ask, why do you think? Uh, let's say this rumor is true, and we are getting a new 2D Mario. why do you think it took so long for us to get a new entry? I know we talked about oversaturation before, but why do you think Nintendo held off so long? I mean, wouldn't it have made sense to launch the Switch with a new 2D Mario as well as Mario Odyssey?
I think they were just prioritizing other kinds of games. I think with 2D Mario, they kind of saw Super Mario Maker as fitting the need for the time, but I think now, I don't know why it took so long. That is a good question. If this game does happen, we'll have to see, because if it truly is an evolution, then that could definitely showcase why it took so long, or if it was worth the wait. But what exactly could 2D Mario do to fit into the modern era and evolve? What would we like to see from it? Well, as I stated before, we mentioned Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. I'm going to play Rayman Legends in the Mario costume or the Luigi Glowbox costume because I feel that is the best 2D Mario experience that you can get. It's a modern 2D platformer with organic level design, having levels that just feel like they're natural, with things you can do in the landscapes and ways to interact with them. Things like, you know, interacting with parts of the level and uncovering
Yeah.
secrets, just interacting with the environments, having more moves for Mario. That's another one.
Yeah.
And getting rid of archaic aspects. I think a good example, just to illustrate it a little bit, would be the Super Mario 3D World style in Super Mario Maker 2. I feel like things like the
Yeah.
lives, as well as the score or the timer score counter, unless it's like some achievement based thing, just get rid of those. They're not needed anymore in 2D platformers. Time limit is just stupid regardless, unless it's like a challenge you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And who cares about game overs anymore? They haven't been relevant since Super Mario World.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you on everything there. And, something that I've been wanting 2D Mario to try for the longest time. Um, I mean, you and I have been discussing this for years about this prototype, but Virtual Boy Mario Land was a demo for the Virtual Boy that never came to fruition. But that game played with going in and out of the background in the 2D Mario setting. And ever since then, I still hold a grudge against New Super Mario Bros. 2 because they could have done this with the 3D feature, but they didn't. But I've always wanted to see a 2D Mario game take advantage of going in and out of the background, Kirby Triple Deluxe style or DKC Return style, and just kind of use that as kind of the main gimmick. Just kind of, it's the same Mario gameplay, but now there's a new dimension added to it. Beyond that, I would love to see, you know, some new locations from here. I'm fine with the archetypes like grass, desert, and snow. It's fine. But let's add some flair to it like Super Mario Odyssey did. Like, that would be really cool. But yeah, let's have some great new power-ups. Let's ditch the archaic not the archaic roots, but the archaic features like score and timers and lives, and let's have coins actually do something in the game, whether that is to buy costumes or whatever. I don't know, but let things have functions now.
You know what I'd like to see?
Go ahead. What?
I'd love to see multiple playable characters. Sometimes we'll see
Oh,
that.
yeah.
We did see that with the new Super Mario Brothers games, although they all played identically. But I'm referring more to something like Super Mario 3D World, which again, that's 3D Mario, but also structured like 2D Mario. Or even Super Mario Brothers 2,
Yeah.
that was inspired from. Have different characters with different abilities, even beyond the standard Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad. Why not have Foreman Spike as a playable character?
Oh, that's funny you mentioned that. You know, I
Or
I
maybe even a villain.
suspect that would be cool. I do suspect that Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad will be playable. I just based off the movie's success and Peach having a prominent role. I mean, it has no dictation over what the games do, but it makes sense to have Peach as a playable character since she was a big part of that movie. Uh, I do I do have a feeling Foreman Spike will return in some shape or form, whether he's a playable character or a rival. I don't know. I did want to ask you. I know that the movie has no influence over what the games do, but do you think we'll see some Donkey Kong elements in this game? Do you think it's possible that Donkey Kong and his world could appear in this game, or he could be a mount character, or
It
I don't
could.
know. It's just speculation on my end.
It could, based on that Lego set. You know, it'd be really cool if this 2D Mario game was actually just based on the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Eh, I wouldn't be interested.
I think you would be interested if you saw a game that used the art direction from that movie. If it's 2D, they could definitely do it. That'd be
Nah,
super cool.
I'd want to see something more stylized, like the Kotabe artwork. To be honest with you, um, I don't want anything to look like the movie. I know a lot of people want that. I think the movie it's its own thing. The games and the movies are their own thing. Let's keep them like that. But that's not to say I don't want some of the movie stuff to influence the games. That's quite the opposite. I would love to see Donkey Kong having a more prominent role in the Mario games. I would love to see, Princess Peach being playable more often. I don't think she has to be kidnapped all the time for Bowser to enact an evil plan. Uh, so, and let's be honest, I think Bowser will be the villain of this game. I know Nintendo. I don't think they're gonna pick someone else.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be Bowser. It'd be great if they went for
Yeah.
a different villain. I know I said I want Foreman Spike playable, but let's say he could be the villain, and then you unlock him as a playable character. Some games do that, where you can unlock the villain as a character. Some of the Paper Mario games
Yeah.
even do it, where you got Bowser on your team after
Yeah.
fighting. Super Paper Mario specifically did that. Be kind of cool
It
to
could
have
be.
something like that with a more epic story.
It could be like Superstars, Sonic Superstars, where that game has Eggman, Fang the Sniper, helping him out. Maybe it could be Bowser and Foreman Spike helping him out as a mercenary, not a mercenary, but you know what I mean. Like he's helping Bowser out.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool to see. I just want to see Foreman Spike as a character in the games. And, I'll
Yeah.
disagree where you said you want the movie to be separate. I want the game to look like the movie. But, with that being said, when it comes to the game, I think we can summarize what we want from it. Something with organic level design, very similar to modern platformers like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Rayman Legends, even the Kirby games, I'd say, with the
Oh
exception of
yeah.
Star Allies. Also, some
I
new and
did have a
interesting locations, even if they have
yeah.
the tropes, add some flair to them. Although I would like to see more original locations. They could do them based on real world locations like ancient Greece, maybe even ancient times, like, not, it wasn't ancient, but medieval times. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I will say, one thing that I want to talk about because I know Mario Maker 2. This is a big thing for it. Co-op. It's not new to to the 2D Mario games, but do you think we'll see online co-op? And do you think that'll work well?
Yes, I think we'll see it. No, I don't think it'll work properly, but I think yeah, that's pretty much a given. But another world theme I was
Yeah.
thinking of, maybe even a factory, that'd be cool. Just anything
Ooh.
beyond just the standard, the beach, the grass world, the desert, snow, jungle, lava, cloud, mountain, and the special world. See, I
I
memorized
would
them just from the spot. Come on, give us stuff that I'll need to think about a little bit to memorize.
I would actually love to see some new not this isn't a pun here, but some new wacky worlds for us to explore. Like I don't know, let's put Mario in more of a let's put Mario in a different world setting that's like not that looks nothing like the Mushroom Kingdom. You know how Odyssey brought us to locations we'd never see in a 3D Mario game? Why don't we do the same thing for 2D Mario, where we put them in locations that we'd never expect out of a 2D Mario game?
I know it's not 2D Mario, but the Paper Mario games have done a pretty good job doing that. Even some of the bad ones, like Paper Mario Color Splash, they did a pretty good job
Yeah,
with that too. So
yeah,
really, I just want to see some new world themes as well. And
yeah,
just better, more modern gameplay. But in
I would love
addition
to.
to that, or go
Yeah,
on.
go ahead. I just wanted to say that I wanted to see some new cool gimmicks and challenging level design, and I do want to add. I don't know what it was with New Super Mario Brothers recycling music, but I really hope the soundtrack is a banger.
Here's the thing. Nintendo doesn't really recycle music for their games anymore. Voice clips, yeah, but not so much music, so I think we'd be fine there. So, just summarizing everything: organic level design, gameplay that's modernized, a great art direction with some new and interesting locations. They could go for a Kotabe style that's hand drawn, something like the movie. As long as it
Yeah,
looks modern or stylized, I'll be very excited and happy with it. But
me
also,
too.
another important aspect of 2D Mario is the power ups. You think they should go the 3D
Yeah.
world route and have just pretty much almost every Mario power up? Or should they
Uh,
just go a different route where they focus on Mario moves, but not so much the power ups like the 3D games?
no, I think there's going to be power ups. I think that's what drives people to buy 2D Mario. I do think there's going to be some new moves from the 3D games implemented here, and I think that's going to add some great movement options to Mario and Friends. But I will say, I want to see some crazy new power ups. I think, the last new 2D Mario power up we had was what, the Super Acorn? I mean,
Yeah,
if we really want to count 3D World as a 2D Mario, it was the Cat Bell, and that's one of the best power ups in Mario history. But
well, it's in a 2D
you
Mario
know,
game, Super Mario Maker 2.
oh, that's true. But I want to see some wacky new power ups. Like, I know I keep bringing up Odyssey, but the fact that you could capture a T Rex is insane to me. I want to have power ups to that insane degree. Where you're like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. Is this a Mario game? But it still is. A big hope of mine. A big hope of mine. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm more of a dog person. I want to see Dog Mario. Make it happen. I'm wishing it into existence. Dog people, I'm wishing it into existence. Dog Mario. Let's make it happen. Please.
Dog Mario, I'll wish into existence too. That would be amazing. They kind of had something like that for a Japanese New Year's event back in
Yeah.
2019, and I thought that could be a cool power up in Mario. Now,
You
one
know,
thing we've
I
discussed that it could do is dig underground to uncover secrets, stuff like that, and bark to
yeah.
defeat enemies, kind of like Kirby's megaphone ability. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I was actually thinking when he starts to dig, he could dig, like, let's say there's a wall in front of him, he could dig around the wall to get to new places, and maybe he could even dig underground, dig dug style, and find some new platforming routes. I don't know, there's a lot of potential there. Yeah, look, I'm not the one designing the game, but I'm just saying a dog power up would be awesome. But with that said, even if it's not dog power ups, I would just love some like wacky, cool power ups that like influence Mario's moveset. And I do. One thing that I really want is for the levels to be focused around either the power ups that you have or moves that Mario and friends have. Obviously using platforming skills. Some of my favorite levels in 2D Mario is from Super Mario Advance 4, the e-reader levels. And what I really like about those games, about those levels in the game, is that the power-ups are utilized within the level design. One of my favorites, it's this ice castle, and you have to actually use your fire flowers to melt the ice blocks in front of you. And I thought it's a simple thing, but it's such a clever use for such a, let's be honest, a nothing power-up nowadays compared to the multitude of other power-ups Mario has. It just adds another dimension to it, and it makes it more useful. I really want to see level design that utilizes Mario's power-ups in like really creative ways. Um,
I agree
but
with you
yeah,
there. I think that'd be cool,
yeah,
although I think it's more suited for challenge sections. I think that they should center it around Mario's base moveset, and the power up should just be an extension of Mario's abilities, just like they are in most Mario games. But another thing I was thinking of is In addition to some wacky power-ups, of course, having returning classic power-ups like the Fire Flower, perhaps the Ice Flower, and even Raccoon Suit. What if you could combine power-ups?
Oh, wow. So Kirby 64 style.
Yeah, pretty
That
much.
would be that would be real. You know what? That would be a really interesting mechanic. I don't know how that would work, but man,
Well, considering
that
it
could
would be a
that
fuse mechanic, no wonder it took so long to develop.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that's actually a really good idea, the fuse mechanic, and I think that would kind of check off my box with like the wacky power ups that I want to see, and it'll check your box with like mostly all the power ups from 2D Mario that you want to see. And I think that would actually add a new dimension and level of challenge. Like, what if there's a place that you can't reach? Um, you know, where you need to fly, but there's like a bunch of ice blocks in the way, for example, and you combine the Tanuki suit and the Fire Flower, and you could fly and shoot fireballs and get the ice blocks out of the way and fly up and get to the secret area. Something like that, where it's like you have to use your noggin to try and figure out, which power-ups would be best utilized to mix together. I think that's a really cool idea. I don't know if they're going to go for that, but just the fact that we came up with it shows that 2D Mario has a lot more experimenting to do with itself, and I think, there's a lot of potential to be had with the new installment.
I agree with you there. And I think that with the new 2D installment, I hope that it's revealed in the next Nintendo Direct, since Miyamoto did say stay tuned for upcoming announcements. I probably would still prefer a 3D Mario game, but if 2D Mario can prove that it's evolved and is something on par with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which it should be, or any other modern 2D platformer, I'll be quite excited for it. But that pretty much wraps it up on my end. I'm really hoping we get some Nintendo announcements, because, man, it has been a dry desert in terms of Nintendo news and such. Wow.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
really hope.
The
Yeah, go
Legend
ahead.
of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is great and everything, and the remakes we got earlier this year are great, but wouldn't it be nice to have stuff to look forward to? I know we're getting Pikmin 4, which looks incredible, but we know nothing about the rest of the year. I think it's fair just to be updated on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's been 11 years. I think the time is now, especially after the movie. I I hope everything that we discussed, one way or another manifests into that. And I really hope that we just have another great 2D game to look forward to. It would be really awesome if we had a great modern classic styled Sonic game and a great modernized classic, playing 2D Mario game. That would be really awesome.
Well, anyways,
Yeah.
guys, thanks for watching. I'm TND,
And I'm Demeech.
and keep calm and da-don.